right, hey guys, welcome back. So this is the first week of Real Life Real Talk with me, myself, Ashley. This week is going to be a real talk, the very first time I'm going to talk about it. And I chose this topic because I believe that it's something that I just want to portray me as a person and my opinions and beliefs a little bit to you guys so you can know me a little bit better moving forward with my real talk videos. So with that being said, this week I'm going to talk about life as a millennial and what it means to me. So I know a lot of people have bad connotations of being a millennial, and I would 100% agree with this. I personally, to just lay it straight out there for you, do not like being labeled as a millennial, and I wish that I grew up in a different era, quite personally. Just because my number one thing is the stereotypes that are associated with being a millennial. Often it comes with being lazy, being self-centered, thinking that you deserve everything without trying. You're just kind of like a crybaby essentially, and those things do not represent me at all as a person. So going into for jobs or anything along those lines, when you meet new people, you meet older people, they're automatically looking at myself and you, everybody else who is a millennial, with that attitude. So you really have to prove yourself initially right out the bat, that you don't have those stereotypes associated with you. And that's a struggle that we all face, and we will face. In our day and age, that's what has been given to people of our age. Now, I don't know the exact years for being a millennial. I think that it's like 21. If you're 21 right now, I'm pretty sure that's like your cutoff. I don't know exactly, but without knowing exactly the age, date, and range, I know that I am a millennial, and I know that a lot of you are millennials, and so let's just cut right to this. So point number one, being labeled as a crybaby. Okay, well, let me just start. Yes, I pout. Yes, I get upset when things don't go my way. No, I'm not a crybaby, because you will never see me cry openly about myself not getting my way, or if somebody talks down to me, rude to me. It is what it is. It's just one of those things. And I'm definitely not somebody who's very emotionally active, I guess you could say. I don't show my emotions very much. There are a few people who have seen my emotions, and they've definitely seen the best and worst of them. But in general, if I'm upset, I'm just going to let things be. I'm not somebody who's going to dwell on things for a really long time. I like to approach a problem when it happens, and that's the end of it. I don't like to draw things out, to cry about it for very long. I don't like to dwell on the past. So I'm definitely somebody who, if it's happened, we can talk about it, but I'm not going to argue with you about it for very long. I'm either going to quit talking to you, one, or I'm just going to move on. I mean, I'm more than willing to hear somebody else's side of a story, as long as they're willing to hear my side of a story. And we don't always have to agree, and that's the number one thing that drives me absolutely crazy. Sometimes you do not have to agree with somebody. You can just be on different pages. You can have your own opinions, and you guys can meet in the middle, I guess, if you want to say, if it's even meeting in the middle. But you don't always have to agree with somebody, and it really drives me crazy when friendships are broken, work relationships are broken, families are broken, just because you guys don't agree on something. Another thing is that I just like to hear other people's opinions. So another thing that comes off in the media, excuse me, as a millennial, is that we like to fight back, and we're all about protests, and we just have to have it our way, and if it's not our way, there's no other way. 100% disagree. A lot of people don't even know my deep, true opinions on a lot of stuff unless you're my family or a really close friend, just because I don't probably have the same opinions as somebody my age on a lot of different topics. I probably relate to, let's say, like your parents or your bosses a little bit more in my views and beliefs, but that's just me as a person. I am 100% willing, and I I absolutely love talking to other people about their opinions on certain topics. but I don't like when it's an argument. I love when people are passionate about it. I'm very passionate about a lot of my opinions and beliefs. For example, my sister and I are like polar opposites in what we believe, and I love to have those conversations with her on why she believes a specific way. But I appreciate having those conversations with her because it opens my mind to see a little bit more of another side of the story. What I cannot stand is if I'm trying, in a large group of people is where this usually happens, you know, there's a debate going on about one way or the other way, and I will 100% stay quiet. I don't give my opinion just because if people are arguing about it. I don't want that. I want a true reason why you believe something. Tell me you're passionate about it without screaming in my face. But I want the same respect back. I want you to be able to understand where I'm coming from and what I believe. And we don't have to agree. We do not have to agree. We do not have to ruin a friendship. We do not have to quit our jobs. We don't have to do these things just because we don't agree. And I'm all for preaching what you believe and being very open and vocal about it. And if you have valid reasons and you're up to date on everything that you know and you're saying, 100% I support you as a person, whether I agree with you or not. Do it, go for it, you know, protest your heart out, that's fine. Just understand the other side of things a little bit. Your way is not the only way. We don't have to agree. Some things are wrong when they happen, and 100% be passionate about them. Please be passionate about them. Please fight for change. Please do all these other things, but don't degrade other people as a person just because they don't agree with you. Next point, education. So this one's huge to me. So in today's era, in our age, in the workplace, it is totally different. And people are going to school more than they ever have in the past. The trade industry is totally down. And it's kind of been given a negative connotation to be a tradesman. And I mean, that's crazy to me because we can't all be doctors, we can't all be lawyers, we cannot all be dentists, and we can't be anesthesiologists. Just that's the reality of it. But we're all gonna need somebody to build our houses, we're all gonna need somebody to build our new roads, so we do need those tradespeople. And so it drives me insane when people have such a negative, like, oh, I've had teachers, and it just boiled my blood. I would have teachers who are like, you have to go to school, you have to get an education, you have to have a degree in order to be successful in today's age, and I do not agree. I come from a family of tradespeople. A lot of my friends have worked, their parents are tradespeople, the grandmas, grandpas, all the way down the line are tradesmen, and trust me when I tell you, we're all living just fine. All of us are fine. So it just really drives me crazy that the education system at the lower level is preaching to everybody that you have to have a college degree for everything. You don't. Now, if you're going to be a doctor and you're going to be a lawyer, or you're going to be the next big thing, yeah, you do have to have a degree. I 100% agree, but I think that education overall has become a money grab, and it just drives me nuts that I feel like you have to have a degree to get anything done, or to be successful. Not to get anything done, but to be successful. And I don't think that's true. You might have to work a little bit harder, and I think that millennial work ethic is very different, but I'll talk about that next. So I don't think that you need an education for everything, and I do think it's okay to work in the trades. And I think we need more people to do that, if I'm being quite honest. And you can make a successful life at it. So that's my piece on that. But back to education. We're all preached and told from the very moment, I would say it started in middle school, that we have to go to college, you have to go to the next level of education. And what that's driven in our age of people, our group as millennials, is that everybody's going to get a degree, your bachelor's degree in something, because we feel we have to be successful in this world. But the issue that I have, millennials and the people my age think that you're going to go to get a degree and you're going to come out and you're going to rule the world and you're going to be the next CEO of every large Fortune 500 company. Come on now. Come on. That's not real. That's not the reality of it. It's just not how it is. You're going to have to work your way up. You're going to have to get a job. And I know more people than I ever hoped I'd know that have degrees in things and they have majored and gotten a degree in something that they're not even practicing in 5 years. So tell me how that adds up. We're just going because it's what we feel like we have to do. People just do it to do it without knowing what you have to do. Drives me nuts. Me, myself personally, like I said, I thought I wanted to be a dentist. Yes, you have to go to school to be a dentist. So I was on that path, I was on that route. Realized I didn't. I am still getting a college education just because I'm so close to finishing. But I don't have the mindset that I'm going to come out and be the CEO of something, that I'm going to be the big boss and that everybody else is going to listen to me. Is that what I want? Absolutely. Who doesn't want that? But I am different in a sense because I will work for those things. I understand the chain of the ladder, the seniority aspect of things. Working for what you have is something I'm a firm believer in, and I think my dad has instilled that in me since I was little. My mom as well. Anything that we are given and that we have, we should work for, and work harder than the guy next to you. You know, it sounds really bad, but I'm not really here to make friends. I'm here to make myself successful, and I'll do what I have to do that. And that's just something that's frowned upon. But that's not something that was frowned upon. It has always been this way for our, there's a little bug, for our parents, for our grandparents. They've all worked so hard to be where they are and to provide for us in our day and age. And so it's really frustrating for us to think that they've worked so hard that we're just gonna get it. That they've already done all the work and now we have to do nothing. All we have to do is get a degree and we're the next big thing. Come on. Work for what you want, work for what you have, make the most of it. We're not all gonna be successful at the end of the day. We can't all be successful, but we can all be passionate about what we do. And that's all that I hope for myself and for everybody around me. Whether I'm making $15 an hour or I'm making $1 million a year, I just hope that whatever I do and whatever everybody else around me does makes them happy and they're doing it for the right reasons and not for what everybody else says. So I think it's really important that we all have our own opinions on that and that we have our ideas of what we believe is right and what we're going to do for ourselves and for one another and for our lives as people and for our families, and that we don't necessarily get caught up in the day-to-day of what everybody else believes. Okay. Be who you want to be yourself. Don't follow in the path of somebody else just because that's what seems right. Be your own person and be proud of it. But 100%, whatever you believe, please go for it and go for it 100%. Don't expect to get what you want and the results that you desire without working hard for it. Please be a hard worker. Please don't settle with the connotations that everybody else has about you as a person. Everybody can get where they want to be. Not everybody has to have the same goal. Please be different. Please don't be somebody who's the same old just because everybody's doing it. That's not where it's at. Be unique, be yourself. Do you know how many people told me to not do this YouTube channel because, like, who's gonna want to talk to you? I don't really care if anybody wants to hear me or listen to me. But I'm just doing this for myself because this is something that I've wanted to do, and I hope that you're watching, and maybe if you agree, great, but if you don't have to agree. That just is what it is, and I hope that this gives you a little more insight on my opinion of being a millennial. It makes you think a little bit more about you as a millennial. See you next week on Real Life with Ashley.
See you next week.
See you next week. Joe said see you next week.
See you next week. Bye, Felicia.
Oh, my legs are...
Hi, welcome to Real Talk with Joey D. This is going to be a real talk about Ash's good ideas. So today we went on a bike ride, and Ash was like, let's go on a bike ride. And so what did? We went on a bike ride, of course, because you can't say no. And what happened? Ash took the brunt of the damage. So, yeah, Real Talk with Joey D. Let's get it out of here.